most part, because again, I wasn't really planning on getting too much going here, or I wasn't really worried about getting a lot done today, because again, we have a, let's, how do we delete this thing? Select, node, right? Oh, I got it, X. Awesome. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Again, I just forgot to put my laptop. I tell you, it's just not my day. This week has not got started out well for me, or at least not well for streaming. Like I said, we're gonna make up for it. Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys putting up with the technical. I can't believe I forgot to plug in. Of all the things, right? I went through and I had everything squared away. I was like, all right, let's just kick this in. I'm already late. Let's start. And then, you know, I'm gonna have to mix these together too now. These two streams. I'll edit that out. We'll edit that out in post. All right. So okay, what was I gonna do? Let's see what else we can do here. What was it? Magic texture. I wonder what that is. Brick texture. These seems like kind of really interesting that it's like very specific. You know what I mean? Like very oh, there we go. That's actually, again, this with a Verona would actually work really well for mountain ranges, right? Let's try that. This actually looks almost better than what we were doing. More useful. For some reason I'm like stuck in making mountain ranges today. I don't know why, but that's just what I want to make today. So that's what we're going to try to make. Yeah, I never much thought twice about the Apple logo. You know, I always thought, I mean, I remember like when the first Macintosh came out, that was just such an awesome machine. I remember using that paint program like for hours and hours and hours, days and days. I used to hang out at the Southern Massachusetts University. It used to be called SMU. It's no longer called that. But I used to hang out there and play on their Mac, their original Mac, for days and days and days. Interesting, Clover. I would not have related. I don't. I didn't. I don't. I don't. You know, I'm really familiar. I've read a lot about Alan Turing, and I've never really heard of any Apple connotation. You know, I'm curious as to what that what that relationship is, because that's a new one on me. And I'm always interested in learning new. I think obviously Alan Turing is a hero, and I think if you're a geek, he's like up there in the pantheon. So I always love learning new little trivia about him. Okay, where was I? Trickster. Oh yeah, what's Sylvester? Oh, I get it. So that's what this is for. That is what that's for. Okay, that makes sense now. Now I know what they mean by that. Don't quite get what fact means yet, but what Apple as a company? I mean, yeah, I mean, I can make complaints about every major one of those, every major technology company. Again, the only reason I use a Mac is because I can emulate every type of development target I could ever have to need of on an Apple, but I can't do that on any other machine. I can't emulate Apple on any other machine, but I can emulate any other machine on Apple. So from a development standpoint, there's really no question. You really kind of have to, if you plan on supporting all platforms, you really don't have a choice. You gotta have a Mac around. It's so easy. I just run Windows in an emulator, and I mean run it in VMware, or not VMware. What's it called? What's the other one? VirtualBox. Um, I just haven't had need to use Windows in a very long time. Oops. Oh. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, I didn't quite catch that connotation. You know what I mean? I didn't quite. That's funny now that you mention it. That is really interesting. You've just given me homework whether you like it or not. Like now I'm gonna have to go look through some books I have and I'm gonna have to go research some stuff because you piqued my interest. Here we go. Okay. Now. Oh, that's not what. Oh, look at that. No. We want like. I want to just. No. Oh, there we go. Yeah, like that. Then let's. Okay, well, let's see here now. Some interesting stuff. That's okay. That's okay. Blade is always welcome to do that. You have two diffuse shaders and combine with a mix shader. And in the factor of the mix shader, you connect the factor of the wave. Let's try that. That's interesting. Okay, I think I believe I understand what you're saying. So we have two diffuse shaders. Let's box around. Two, right? Connect the factor of a wave. Oh, you're telling me how to use the factor. I got it. Yeah, I got you. I got you. We're gonna do this. So we take the factor. Right now, obviously, oh, excellent. Let me see that. No, I get I think I get the principle of what you're suggesting. I'm just kind of. Right. Gotcha. I got it. So it's like a pass through. It's like basically a way to pass through values. I think I understand. So this should work. Wait, let me. Right. I got you. I got you. I mean, this is the same thing as what I was doing before but let's just try like some different colors like red and kind of blue over here. And wait a minute, what am I doing here? Oh, it's a mixed shader. That was my problem, right? That's actually a good big. Okay, let us look at the difference between these two. I get it. That's will give us the actual that allows us to tweak the fact. Oh, wait a minute, what am I doing here? Go to surface. Awesome. I don't really need the diffuse BS. I don't really need that. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. See, this makes sense to me now. Whoops. Yeah, sure, make it rough. Rough and ready. All right, let's try this. So I can actually mix in my Voronoi too by fact. Yep. Oh, okay, I get it. Man, you guys are great. You guys are so awesome. Am I trying to mix two shaders in an RGB? Am I? I believe so. Do I actually then? So do I need the BSDF or what? What am I doing wrong? Oh, wait a minute. I lost the wave. I got it. That's why. If I do that, it'll get rid of that. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I can mix. I have to mix that if I want to. Yeah, it's not a. I was wondering what it does. It doesn't look like it's particularly great. Like I can get the same effect using other by mixing other stuff in, right? I don't need to use that roughness. I can generate my own roughness the way I want. Hey, there might be women watching, so careful there, guys. I wouldn't make you know, God forbid your wife hears that, catches it. I actually I know men that are just as bad about that. So whoops, what happened? Well, how did I get rid of my? Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, because it was about to do. It was doing a whole. It was baking in a whole bunch of bump maps or whatever when I did the volume. So like I got you. Okay. All right. This is cool. This was a really cool thing to show me. I like that. All right. So let me see the difference between here. So this mixes colors, that mixes shaders. Okay. Or mixes really basically anything. It's interesting because I'm trying to understand exactly how this like the arrangements of this all of this must determine how it sets up the shader. So it's kind of interesting. I really kind of do want to take a look at the source code. I'm really curious how this all works. Texture on both sides. That's okay. All right. Oh yeah, I was sucking up some cycles there. Definitely using up some use. My laptop crapped out at like 25% like full. It was like my battery's so old. I think it over reports, so it actually goes. It's actually empty when it says it's at 25%. All right, very cool. Now, one of the things I'm kind of curious about. Okay, these are render layers. Okay, so I assume this is like for compositing. Oh yeah, compositing nodes. I got it. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then this is just what? That is what? Just texture nodes. Huh. Poetry text. Oh, so does this like just hide everything but texture nodes? We'll figure that out. So far, so good. I have to say. I mean, this is making a lot more sense to me than the other stuff was. So let's try to do what we were doing before. Okay, I got it. I got an idea here. Let's get rid of all this stuff. And let's try to do what we were doing here. So let's load our image, right? Uh, Hmm. So do I need actually one of those mixed RGB thing? What did I screw up here? Oh, hey, take it easy, Cloper. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Great seeing you as always. Like I said, extended stream tomorrow. We're gonna get back to brass tacks tomorrow. I'm gonna watch a lot of videos and practice tonight as much as I can, so we can hopefully be more productive tomorrow. Single image, turn off, flat. Wait, what? Oh, you can. Oh, kind of neat. You can put different projections. Yeah. Okay. Linear. Yeah. Color. Yeah. So what am I doing wrong here? Why does the color? Do I need a There's obviously a node I need here. Oh, good. Yeah. See, they distinguish between bump and normal map here specifically too. That's interesting. I wonder what the I got to read up what the distinction, what they call the distinctions. Um. Oh, they have a black body. Interesting. You know what? Let's try this. I'm gonna do something a little different. Hmm. So I wonder how I do that. I need a diffuse shader. Oh, that makes sense. Thank you. Oh, that is. I do have one there though. That's right. I do have. Okay, this is just a diffuse shader. Okay, I get that. But why? I would have thought that would work. The first thing that wasn't just like worked exactly the way I assumed it would. It's all right though. Hmm. Yeah, and I'm gonna actually want a specular. I get it. I mean, right? Or what do they have here? Use gloss. They call it glossy. I assume that's what they mean by spec. You know, or refraction, glass, translucent. Okay. Subsurface scattering. Use is probably all you really need. Hmm. One quick. I'm gonna just look up a quick thing on a. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I see how to add the UV, like the UV mapping in nodes. That's not what I was looking for, but that's interesting and helpful. Yeah, glossy is specular. That's what I assume. You know, a lot of times, again, it's like just figuring out terminology, right? I mean, that's the thing I found with math is the hardest part. Is just figuring out the symbology. When it's always easier than I expect. Um, it's just that I usually need time to figure out what they actually mean by stuff. Okay, there we go. Blend. And that was what I was looking for before. It wasn't a gradient. It was blend. a spherical blend. So now the only question is, again, why am I not, what am I doing wrong here? It's almost like it's just taking the first pixel and putting it for color. All right. Looking through the documentation. I think I see how to do the I think I see how to do the bump map. Oh, okay, excellent. Thank you, man. Oh. Oh yeah, these are real. Yeah, this is that. Okay, good. Yeah, real world terrain in Blender. Yeah, that was exactly what I was kind of poking around with there. Okay, we gotta, yeah, we definitely subscribe. Thank you, sir. The model doesn't have any UV data. Ah, you know, just like we figured out before. So let's fix that, right? That's right, just like the last time. We can't assume that there's UV data, and that makes sense. So we grab this thing. Let's make a right, isn't there like a there we go. Okay. So now this I should be able to just really easily unwrap, right? I assume 3D view. Oh, wait a minute. Edit mode I want? Yeah. Right? Bam. Thank you, Dragon Blade. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess I don't really need the UV editor. I just didn't quite know how to, other than the smart unwrap was like just the way of making it happen. That's the way I did it yesterday, right? Just I knew I could do that and it would work, I assumed. Very cool. All right, so let's do the let's try to do a let's see. I assume they probably mean bump. Or where was it? Vector. Right. Probably need, I assume, something like this in here. Now, what I was thinking, what I might want to do, what I'm trying to do here right now is the same thing we did before. Remember how when in 3 yesterday, we just added, you know, you could, the bump parameter, you could just give the same image and it would automatically set it up and then you could give it a factor of 0.1, yada, yada. That's what I want to try to do is try to generate, I want to bake in a bump map from this texture. And let me see here. I think I saw something about, whoops. I think I saw something about how to do this. Yeah, those node tutorials look really good. So, Blade, for future reference, right? For future reference here, one sec. When you said I don't need the UV editor, how do I do that without using the UV? Well, how do I use it without bothering with this? You said there's just, I mean, I assume there's, like you said, and since it's a simple quad plane, that there really shouldn't be. I mean, it couldn't be more obvious, right? The default should work. So I was just kind of curious as to when you say I don't need the UV editor, what's the fast way of doing a plane like that without the UV editor? Again, when you hear this, and if you happen to know and you happen to be able to help, I appreciate it. It's not like a critical thing. I'm just kind of curious. All right, so that's simple enough. I know I can also, there's hotkeys to just force it to be exactly what, 90 degrees. Same thing I just did, but just not open it. Oh, I see. Oh, well, I didn't see. I thought I had to do that. Oh, I just go and edit. Yeah, I gotcha. You're right. You're right. We don't need this. Hey, no, don't do that. Ah! Yeah. Something simple. How do I close this? I did not mean to open that one. All right, wait one second. Blender. Oh, I use this one. No, what the heck? Oh, join area. Okay. Where do I do that? How do I freaking get rid of this? Is one of the, oh, there we go. Join area. Okay. I got. Whoa. How did I do that? Oh yeah, I'll get to that YouTube. Thank you. I figured. I just realized I got to join. I got the join thing, but I just don't understand how to trigger the join. Oh.
Get 4G LTE data, unlimited calls and texts in Mexico and Canada, just like in the U.S. That's coverage in 3 countries for the price of 1, only from T-Mobile.
Did not stop doing that. Yeah, I'll get back to that. That's okay. Now, I just did this. There we go. I was working. Before, when I did join area, it would give me like the option of left or right. Like it would give me the option to.
Of the window until you see a double arrow. Left click and drag the window open, and you can do that horizontally in the right-hand corner of the editor window. There's a splitter widget to create a horizontal split by placing the cursor in the splitter widget. Each window has its own header window and associated tool panel.
Can join 2 windows in one?
You can click on the type button at the far left of the window header line.
I'll take your word for it. I don't see any reason why it would be a problem.
I'll change this window's type to a text editor. You can join 2 vertical windows with the same width, or 2 horizontal windows that have the same height.
Oh, I get it. So I just got to turn this to anything else. No? Didn't I miss that?
To join, you can move the cursor on one of the splitter widgets from one window to the other. And make it a join window. And you have to hold the left mouse button down. The large gray arrow shows the direction of the change.
Yeah, the gray, I get that.
With the left
Why don't I
mouse
get the
button
gray area?
pressed, you can
I must be doing something wrong. Let me go back.
The large gray and make it a join window. And you have to hold the left mouse button down.
Hold on a sec. I can't
The large gray arrow shows the direction of the change. Windows that have the same height. To join, you can move the cursor on one of the splitter widgets from one window to the other and make it a join window.
Okay. Not giving me the thing. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. It just doesn't seem to work. I mean, the instructions are perfectly clear. I understand what they're saying. It just doesn't seem to. Just doesn't seem to do what I want. Oops. Oh, there we go. I see what you're saying. Oh, I got you. Okay. I got you. Okay, very good. Problem solved. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Seems like one of those simple things, right? But it's actually kind of a little complicated to figure out the first time. It's not intuitive at all. I would just why I don't understand what's wrong with just an X to get rid of a pane, right? Why can't we just have an X like every other freaking convention that's the same in every other operating system and every other application that anyone's ever used forever? Why would you come up with a new convention? Is there a good reason for that, or is it just the way they happen to do it? Is there some reason they're not using? Is there some good reason they've specifically gone and said we're not going to use the conventions that every other application on Earth uses? I assume there's a very good reason for that. You wouldn't do something like that lightly. But I don't see why we don't have like the X's and stuff that we have in everywhere else. Like Eclipse, for example, the Eclipse IDE, or even in Unity, it seems like I never had a problem figuring this stuff. It seems like a lot more intuitive. Yeah, I guess so. It must have just been like they again, this is a real big problem with open source. A huge problem with open source is that so many engineers are just they just refuse to get with like the real world. They just have to re-implement everything from scratch a different way than everyone does it just because it's open source. And that those people should be hung. Not really, but again, I hate it when like developers just strike it out on their own for no good reason whatsoever. Like I assume there's got to be a very good reason to get rid of that convention or to come up with this whole new way of dealing with Windows. But 9 times out of 10, Linux development. That's again why I use a Mac instead of Linux. I would normally just use Linux, but those people, there's so many developers, the important key contributors to so many key open source applications have just kind of like lost their mind when it comes to the desktop. Applications, not so bad. UIs like GNOME and KDE and all that, those people have just lost their goddamn minds. And it's never that's why it's never really going to be, Linux on the desktop is just really going to stay where it is forever, because those people just refuse to change. All right. Yeah, again, you could always just do your own Linux, right? But not worth it. Again, why? At this point, Microsoft and OS X. The one thing I would really like to see is that Microsoft like bite the bullet and use a Unix core, like a mock type kernel. Like stop using the guts of keep everything and the APIs the same if you have, but just use a real goddamn Unix core underneath it for Christ's sake. Use a goddamn real kernel. You know what I mean? And the same thing with I would like to see Linux kind of adopt some more. I would like to see that the vendor, someone kind of create I don't see why you can't just translate between the conventions automatically. You know what I mean? But I don't really like the Linux conventions on the desktop for the most part. I mean, it's highly customizable. You can make it anything you want, but that's the problem. No one wants that, and they just won't accept it. That's why, again, I really like OS X as a desktop. I think it's great. As a gaming machine, it sucks. You know what I mean? All right. So wait a minute, where were we? Let's go back here. Thank you very much. So now we know how to, whoops, not function Z, but shift Z. Now we know how to merge windows. That is excellent. I get it. You just can't do it arbitrarily with any window. You've got to do the ones that are split, the 90-90. I got it. No worries. I don't think I need anything here, right? Node. Oh, no, it gives me, oh, look at that. I see. So it's just more of the same. We don't need that. Awesome. Now, yeah, they know they never will, but they should. They never. Microsoft will never do that, but they really, really should. It would be to their benefit. It would make their products better. It would allow into, I mean, again, they don't do what's good for users, right? I mean, again, they just buy and integrate shit. They don't really develop software. They don't really, they're not into that. They just buy stuff and assemble it together. That's what they've made their. Um, yes, again, that SteamOS is looking really interesting to me. Again, more and more, it used to be that, developing a game for a particular platform like DirectX or whatever was really, you had to commit, right? These days, it's not nearly as bad. Again, the low level translation that's possible now allows you to really kind of not worry about which platform you're going to deploy to until you actually deploy. So I think something like SteamOS could be really, really big. Again, it's a perfect. That's what I like. I'm kind of like the same. I feel like, either give me something like a Unix, like a Linux, an open source kind of kernel for, when I'm working on server side and I need absolute strict control and I need the details. But give me a toaster otherwise. Give me either like something that's like completely customizable, or give me a toaster. And the SteamOS is a great Linux toaster, right? I think it's a great idea. I still don't quite get, besides a streaming device or an aggregation device or just a kind of a TV set-top device, I don't quite see where it is just yet, but I think that there's a great future for that. Because I don't think it'll be too hard to port stuff to SteamOS OS. You know what I mean? It could become a default Linux installation. And your English is not bad at all, by the way. I understand everything. I've never had a problem understanding what you're. Never worry about that. Everyone who's come here, their English has been perfectly fine. And just because if you're, no one's ever going to judge you for that. I understand you. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see. We want to put, actually, we want to kind of take the, but we also want the color. We want two of these. We're going to use two of these images, right? One is, oh no, wait a minute. I bet you we can do, I bet you there's an easier way to do this. Only what I was thinking. I wonder if I just do this. Or, of course not. I know that's not quite right. Not right, but. That's okay. Again, internet English is perfectly fine. You have to understand how few people in the United States grew up speaking English their entire lives. Speak English. So many people around you will not barely speak English as it is, and they grew up speaking it. But the dialect and the slang and the just the inflection, it's like become you can go. I can listen to people speak English to me and hardly understand a word. And it's not, again, these. I'm not talking about people that came here and learned English and have an accent. That's not at all what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that were born here, grew up, and have an accent. So different thing. Oh yeah, don't worry about art. I mean, verb tenses, we get you. It doesn't matter. Okay. We don't expect you to conjugate everything perfectly. Nor decline. No worries, man. Problem at all. You're perfectly understandable. But again, you know it too. You know you're right, and we know what you mean. Just like you know what you mean. Now we know what you mean. It's okay. Quite all right. You know, I'm very pragmatic when it comes to that. If the intent comes across, if we use emoji, use English, use whatever, you know, whatever method you can, you know, a GIF, whatever works, right? Um, let's see this. I'm going to look up a little nodes. Whoops. Bump and normal maps. Yeah, okay, so the distinction between what they make for, this is actually a good, this is a good point. So the distinction between a bump map and a normal map in the realm of Blender is specifically whether it's an intensity or a RGB value. So normal maps allow for obviously vector values, well, bump maps are scalar. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes, you know, I won't fault you for trying to be correct. I won't fault you for I admire your stick with itness. To use a terrible English word, a made up one. But yeah, I think don't worry about it. But unless you want to, I tell you what not to do. Do or not do. So we actually really want a normal map here. That's really we don't want a bump. Don't want a bump. Oh. Oh, okay. So we do want a map value. We'll get back to this. What was it? Some mapping. Or wait a minute, what? This like map. Oh, maybe we do kind of want to. Well, you know, that's the thing. So we would want to use like a bump map, for example, if we wanted to do like a again specular. I'm not specular. Sorry, what am I? Ambient occlusion, right? Or like you know ambient reflection and so ambient lighting and stuff like that. I would assume because those are like I think about it, they have a distance. It's like a you know a ray trace distance that's an intensity value. Like you know, so I can see where you'd want to use that. Um, okay. Let me see. So there's a normal baking system. Creating using normal map. Oh, this isn't. That's all right. Jeez, man. Still on point with this. Yeah, normal image texture, normal map. That's okay. It was normal map. Pretty much. So this is beyond easy. Okay. Can I do two of these at the same time? Yeah. Is that just cycles taking its sweet time? Or is that really? Oh. Oh, we need a little shiny. It's not okay. What am I doing wrong? I thought that's what I was looking at here. Surface. Easy. Oh, I don't want the color. All right. Oh, I see. Look at that. Okay. Huh. So that's that makes it. Why isn't it? See, I would expect this to be. Oops, wrong one. I was gonna say that doesn't look right. Yeah, thank you. I wasn't. I thought I was crazy for a minute. Oh yeah, yeah. Specular map texture. I get that. But I still don't see why this isn't in RGB. There's something missing here, obviously, and we also need we need shiny too. I want to add some shiny. Yeah, that and this is helpful. This is we were talking about the difference between texture, bump map, and so texture, normal map, bump map, or specular highlight map, right? Either way. And the terminology jumps around quite a bit. Interesting, that almost looks like an inverted normal map. Okay, so let me figure out what I'm doing, because this actually feels like it should be fairly right, because we want to use the same, like we want, oh, you know what? Do I need to mix these before I diffuse them? Let's try that. Never know. I don't think this should make a difference, actually, should it? Oh yeah, wow, look at that. No, that's not what that is not what I want. No, oh yeah, I get that. But here's the thing: is my understanding is okay. So let me explain what I thought I was doing here. The same image textures. This should be the source for the normal map, right? I need to like my understanding. Oh, I get it. I get it. There's another. I need to. There's a step in between here, right? Because in order, I got to get to the RGB values. So, can you give me the image you're using? Yeah, absolutely. It's actually it's in the 3JS source tree on Git. If you go, if you want to download it from GitHub, you can just like check out and it's under the examples. Or again, I can just can I post the image to you for? Is there like let me see this way. Let me see here. See what I'm saying? Is like what I wanted to do is use this. It was automatically generating the RGB bump map, and I kind of was hoping that's what this was doing, was that the input the image, and then this outputs the normal the normal map, right? So I was kind of thinking that this would the color here that would work. Clearly, it doesn't. But let's see. You know what? For now, yeah. There's no point in adding the specular highlights until you've got the normal map working, right? Because the specular, then it'll just be a smooth specular highlights with the weird bumpiness over it, right? But we're pretty close here to what we want, though. Tangent space, yeah, okay. Interesting. Yeah, okay, so we need to convert, there's like a conversion we need between these two. This needs to take this color and, let's see, what is it? Ambient occlusion, see, oh yeah, they already have an ambient occlusion. I'm gonna need that. But first, Hey, no problem. Go grab a bite to eat. I'm gonna look up some documentation while we figure this out. So, what we want to do is we want in Blender nodes we want to generate a normal map from the image. There we go. Okay. Yeah, see, I guess that's what's kind of weird. I think I'm doing this. I feel like I'm doing this right. We want to generate. Well, let's just try this. We'll figure this out. We will figure this out. I feel like this is supposed to be right. Like, for example, let me see color here. Okay. See, that's not at all what I would expect it to be, right? Yeah, that's not right. And that's okay. Ah. Yeah, no. Almost there. So the dot actually, that's pretty close. That's a bump map. Not giving me the oh, I get it. You can adjust the okay. Oops. Like the dot product should give us right that now that I think about it, if we take the color, we put it into the normal, and we take the dot product out. I think that's oh yeah, the dot product's always going to be a scalar, isn't it? Necessarily, the dot product has to be a scalar, right? So that can't really be what we want. Hmm. The dot give this gives us a bump map, which is not exactly what we want. Interesting. Well, I think I'm going to wait. You know what? I'm going to have to look into this. I actually have learned a tremendous amount already. Really have already today. So this is good, but GGX. Oh, okay. I won't worry about that. Ah, color ramp. RGB. Right. You want it the other way around. Oh, I get it. There is a way to do this. Got it. Okay, you know what? The color ramp has got to be involved here, I think. We'll get this. We'll get this. We'll get this. Oh, no, not yet. I mean, I'm trying to figure it out exactly. I'm still trying to figure out how to generate. I get that. So if we, for one thing that's kind of confusing me is I don't get why we get, like, look here, right? If we, just to show you what we get here. Like, that doesn't look right to me. Why do we get that? You know, I would expect it. It's clearly not doing the normal bump map thing there, right? That's why when you go to normal here, it looks all wrong. Well, plus we have no specular, but that's not right. So what I was thinking is that maybe it's like we got a normal and then dot product, right? And that, but that gives us necessarily the dot product has to be a scalar, right? So it has to be black and white. There's just no other way around it, right? So then I was thinking maybe we use a color ramp, you know, to get to RGB values. But then I don't know how is it, you know, we have to make sure we do the proper interpolation of the black and white values to figure out our normal map, right? You can convert from a height map to a normal map, right? And I assumed a color ramp would be the way to do that. I guess. I mean, again, I'm as a total noob here. I'm just kind of guessing the right way to do this. There's got to be a standard canonical way to just do what I want to do, but I keep getting scalar values when I need. I'm wanting it to generate the RGB normal. Just to kind of look at. See, that's not right. No, that's not right. Tangent space. That's correct. I don't see how it could be anything other than tangent space. Because the normal map is a non-color image. See, but that's what I don't get. It's the other way around. A bump map is according to the Blender documentation, they say a bump map is intensity and normal is RGB. And think about it, how could a normal be anything other than RGB? Because you need three values to at minimum three values to define any normal. Well, that's the thing though. But what about then? How do we get? Here's the thing. Look, let me show you my code for a second. Then what is we got to figure out? We're going to look. I'll just have to look at the source code for 3JS. Because here, I'll show you what they're doing automatically. And it's because I don't think it's the image issue, because I don't think it's the image itself per se, because it shouldn't matter. Again, like if you took like bricks or you took stones or something like that, it would be, you can still generate these, you can automatically generate these normal maps without a problem. So, one sec. So right here, all you have to do, it has a bump map property. If you just give it the lava texture, it automatically will just generate a bump map, which is really, when they call it a bump map, they're really meaning a normal map. Because again, it provides three-dimensional, it has to be a vector because it clearly provides three-dimensional information about how the specular highlights should reflect, right? See, that doesn't make any sense because we're using it, well, let me show you. That doesn't make sense to me that it could be the image. I believe you. I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm right. I'm just saying I don't understand the how that makes sense given what I see. Yeah, I get that. Blender doesn't know what to do with this data, but then there is a standard way to generate. My point is that you can take any arbitrary image and generate a bump map from it by just interpreting the values. Like, let me show you. Let me show you what I mean. The default behavior that we get here is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, because this is again the source image and it generates a normal map. You know what I mean? You see how it's clearly generating a proper normal map for that. And all I have to do is give it the bump map property. The original image is a bump map. That's what I'm trying to do, is get it to generate, to look at its, and look, it has to kind of have, it has to have vector values. You can see from the specular highlights as you move around that it's clearly working with vector values, right? Or else it wouldn't have the appearance of depth. Yeah, again, we're going to look at the source code for 3 and figure out what it's doing there. I just got to look at the code. You know what I mean? But this is standard. My point is that you can take any image and generate one of these normal maps like this. And it's like a very standard process. It's a simple algorithm that you can run. And I believe it involves dot product and then using that dot product to generate you use the dot. But my understanding is like basically you take the dot, and that's going to give you your intensity values. Then you use those intensity values as a height map, so to speak, and you go over them and using the difference between your current thing and your current pixel and a fragment nearby, you say, the slope must be this, therefore the normal must be this, right? Well, it does exactly what I want. I mean, this is what it was supposed to look like. And again, it depends on the normal. It depends on what you're doing, how you're doing the normal map. This is generated from an image, Barry. Just totally generated from that image. Wherever it's dark, it assumes it digs in, and wherever it's yellow, it assumes it's on the surface, right? Or light. Again, it's using it's taking. I'm almost positive what's happening here is that it's taking the dot product, which gives you when you take the dot, that gives you a scalar value, right? And that gives you basically a scalar intensity value. And then it's taking those intensity values and doing a nearest neighbor thing where it's looking and figuring out what the slope is, and then based on the slope, it takes an average and it does the normals. That's got to be what's happening there, right? Could anything else be happening? You know what I mean? To get what we're seeing, I don't think so. We got to look at the source code. But I just basically wanted to get the same thing going here. I was curious how I would do the exact same thing. Not a big deal. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's the image per se, obviously, because we're using the exact same image here. But that was basically kind of the effect I wanted, to give like kind of a shiny, crackly lava type thing. Not because we need it, just because it was kind of a good example. It's not a great normal map. I mean, it depends on what you wanted to do, right? I mean, But I've also seen in other programs I played around and had kind of the same thing where you just flick on, but you just go, you flip on normal map or bump map, and it does this automatic process for whatever image it has. I've seen this a bunch of times in different contexts, not just in 3. So this is okay. We're getting. I mean, I realize that we're not. This isn't exactly what we want, but. You see what I'm saying? So I think this is actually right. We want to put this into here. Get you out of there. And this dot is going to go somewhere. Oh, wait. Maybe it will do this. Hold on. No, it's the same problem. Doesn't really change that. See, now this again, this is the problem is this is a single, this isn't a, this is the dot product is necessarily, watch, right? And what's interesting, it's actually inverted from what we really want. It's inverted from what we have it's inverted from what we have over here, right? This stuff ends up being the highlight. Well, we're pretty close. Oh yeah, what do you want? How do I like I said, the easiest place to find the image is here. Hold on one sec. I'll show you where it is. Just go to, so there you go. Textures. In here. Lava. That work for you? And see, like, they don't get, again, they're not generating a, this is just a totally different RGB cloud image that they use for a different thing. I think they use that for, like, Steam or something like that. A Steam effect. See, there we go. That's the highlights. If we have, I want to find, yeah, see, there we go. That's what that's what I'm trying to get at, right? This is what we're trying to get at. See, that's what I'm saying. That was generated automatically, dynamically from that. Whatever process they use to go from that to that, that's what we're trying to do. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to do. It's the exact same thing. But you see that? They didn't just generate that from scratch, right? It was this was the output. They put this in as the input, and then this came out as the output. And that's, again, a standard algorithm, I'm almost positive. Oh, look, you can see the editing. I see the editing edges. Normal. I will figure this out. It's all right. I think these are all just demos. Circuit pattern. Oh, well, no. Decals. I see. You find yourself, you get yourself the image? So, let me see what code were we using here. What class were we using? We were creating a Phong material. So let's look at the code for that. Just curious. This is usually the fastest way to figure this stuff out, in my opinion. Oops. What was it? We said Phong material. All right, mesh Phong material. Let's see what we got. See what it does with the bump map. What? That's it? Oh, there's no logic. All right, like I said, this is all the actual coding is done in a shader somewhere. Let's watch. It's probably let me set this up. Normal map. See, again, it's interesting. I guess it is just a bump map. Just try something. Not at all, right? Not even close. Oh, wait. Again, I wonder if we just put specular highlights, that'll show up. But... Oh, and we want to invert. Yeah, see, that's height to normal bump. Okay, perfect. This is what we want, I think. We just don't have any specular highlights. So how would I do? I want to mix those two in, right? But I'll say it. Oh, wait a minute. Whatever. Sure, since it's what I really want to do. Nope. Yep. Not what I. Not at all. Oh, well, actually, I didn't have anything coming in here. That was the problem. I think this might not be the. Isn't it? That's okay. That is okay. We're getting close. This makes sense to me, okay? In fact, we might not even need this normal. Right, what if we just put, oh yeah, we do, because we need this to convert to the dot product. And in fact, that's the problem here. I have this on normal. I want actually to go normal dot to height, invert. Okay, good. This is doing what I want to do. Like this, now this is going to output, watch, if I just do this, this will output what I want. Oh, wait a minute, that's not quite what I want. Oh, this is what I want, though. Ta-da! Look at that. I figured it out. I figured it out. Now I just don't know how to mix them. I think what I want to do is put that through a glossy. How do I mix the diffuse and the glossy? That's what I got to figure out. But this is exactly, there we go. That's what I wanted, right? That's basically, that's good enough for me. That's close enough to what I was hoping for. I just wanted to give it a little surface texture and roughness, and that's perfect, right? We created, so now this makes perfect sense to me. So we take the color and the RGB out, right? And it comes in and it's interpreted as a normal, which is then we take the dot product of that normal, which creates a height, which we input as, again, our, oops. I didn't mean to do that. Shouldn't have been into it. No, normal. Dot to normal. Oh, wait, I did need both? Oh. Okay. If I do that. Not quite. So that's actually surprising to me that we want it this way. That looks right to me. I'm saving this though. Actually, this is pretty close to what I want to say. Let me save this as nodes. Awesome. So if we use, okay, that's kind of interesting. I actually am a little surprised because I thought I was making sense. I didn't realize these were both connected. We could, yeah, okay, exactly. This is very close to what I want. Very close to what I want. All right, and with this, I think I'm going to have to sign off here. Dragonblade, if you're still here, again, I apologize. I think I'm going to have to close a little quick, early. I'm going to have to drop a little early here because I thought of a few things I need to do before I run and go grab my son. I'm going to continue with this. Obviously, I'm going to follow up on those videos you showed me so that hopefully I can be a little more productive and we'll have a little less downtime tomorrow. We will come back with this. We're going to try to do the same thing. I'm going to go take a look also at the 3JS shader code because I suspect if we look here at the actual code, all this is doing is really setting up an object. And then somewhere else, it's looking at these values and just setting up GLSL shaders under the hood. Where is that? It's probably under core. Oh. Simple. So again, I'm going to be signing off a little bit again. Sorry for the shortened cast today. We're gonna pick up tomorrow. We're gonna do longer casts than normal. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll pick up from this. I'm gonna read up on the tutorials and I'm gonna try to learn as fast as I can, as much as I can tonight. And we will pick back up tomorrow. Dragonblade, you've been a fantastic help today, along with Cloak or everyone else who normally stops by. I really appreciate you coming by and helping me out. And I learned a lot about nodes today, and I'm gonna learn more tonight. And I also, again, thanks to everyone who stopped by, everyone who chilled and hung out. Tomorrow we're going to do some, we're going to get back with some real productivity. And I will be also doing some gaming streams as soon as I can. I'm going to finish up the RimWorld series we've been doing. And then we're going to start, I have a couple cool new games I think we're going to do. So thanks to everyone who swung by. I see I got a new follow today again. Thank you. If I missed that, I'll send you a PM again when I figure out who you are. I really appreciate it. As always, thanks to everyone who stopped by today. I apologize for the abbreviated stream. We're going to be back in full effect tomorrow. So thanks again. Take care, everyone.